Number 7. Dangerous favors. In January 2023, a Florida man fell victim to a deceitful plot, highlighting the perils of naivety in online interactions. Gracie Lemke, a 20-year-old resident of Florida, was apprehended for orchestrating a violent ambush after enticing the unsuspecting man with the promise of sexual favors. The victim was contacted by Lemke via Facebook Messenger, where she made explicit commitments to engage in sexual acts with him. Trusting her words, the naive individual agreed to meet Lemke in the nearby town of Adamsville, arriving by car as reported by the village's news. Upon his arrival, the situation took a sinister turn when Joshua Timmons, a 24-year-old individual, abruptly emerged and took control of the situation. While the victim found himself being held back by Timmons, Lemke and another accomplice named Lauren Locher began rifling through his SUV in search of valuables, as detailed by the police. Fearing for his safety, the victim managed to break free from Timmons' grasp and fled down the road. In a shocking turn of events, Timmons resorted to violence. He pulled out a gun and fired a single shot into the victim's back, with the bullet exiting through his abdomen. Struggling in pain in the road, the victim was left to his own devices. The treacherous trio wasted no time, making off with the victim's 2008 Chevrolet Blazer, speeding toward the residence where Timmons and Lemke were residing. Law enforcement promptly arrived at the scene, catching Timmons attempting to destroy crucial evidence by incinerating his clothing. A subsequent search warrant uncovered a bloody knife, 55 grams of marijuana, and drug paraphernalia, further implicating the suspects. All three individuals were taken into custody. Timmons is now facing attempted murder charges, while Lemke and Locher are dealing with burglary allegations. The victim underwent emergency surgery and remains in critical condition, serving as a reminder of the dangers that can arise from naive interactions with strangers online. Number 6. Stealing makeup. On September 1, 2014, a shoplifting incident at the Ulta beauty store in Fayetteville, Arkansas led to the arrest of Brandy Allen, a 31-year-old woman. Allen's alleged theft, valued at $144 in eyeshadow, ultimately exposed her naivety and led to her apprehension. According to a preliminary report, police responded to a shoplifting call at the store, which is located on North Mall Avenue. The witness reported observing Allen's suspicious behavior as she grabbed multiple handfuls of makeup products without checking colors, prices, or labels. Allen, seemingly attempting to divert attention, had entered the store with an unidentified woman who engaged store employees with questions and distractions. Upon arrival, an officer confronted Allen. Interestingly, the original caller identified herself as the store's general manager and requested to inspect Allen's purse. Allen, clearly flustered, took several minutes to rummage through her purse, producing various packages of eyeshadow. Then, in a desperate attempt to avoid detection, she ran her fingers through the top of each package, creating the illusion that they had been used. Amidst her struggle, Allen began loudly cursing and defiantly proclaimed, "No one effing saw me steal anything." Her profanity-laden outburst drew the attention of other customers, including young children, as noted by the officer in the report. Despite her efforts to manipulate the situation, Allen's deception became even more apparent. The store manager pointed out a red eyeliner that an employee had assisted Allen with at the counter, and Allen insisted it was hers and deliberately broke it in front of the officer and store manager to make it appear used. The officer subsequently took Allen into custody, estimating the stolen makeup's value at $144. Allen's bond was set at $830, and on the same day she was booked, she managed to secure her release from the Washington County Detention Center. As of the last available update in 2015, there have been no further developments in her case, leaving the details of her punishment uncertain. This incident serves as a cautionary tale, illustrating how naivety and desperation can lead to ill-advised actions with significant legal consequences. Number 5. Taco Hell. In late August 2023, a knife-wielding man found himself in legal trouble in Connecticut following a reckless incident that underscored his naivety about avoiding consequences. Jonathan Jenkins, a 21-year-old resident of Southington, allegedly confronted fast food restaurant employees at Taco Bell on Queen Street over an online food order dispute. The incident unfolded when Jenkins exited the drive-thru, parked his vehicle, and approached the restaurant's entrance while brandishing an open pocket knife. Two employees ventured outside to discuss his order, prompting a call to the Southington Police Department at approximately 11 p.m. According to police reports, Jenkins advanced aggressively toward the employees, causing them to scatter in different directions out of fear. Jenkins, in a menacing manner, pursued one of the employees before abruptly returning to his vehicle, apparently attempting to flee the scene based on Lieutenant Keith Egan's statement. Responding officers initially received reports that one of the Taco Bell employees possessed a firearm. However, it was later determined that no firearm was involved in the altercation. In a remarkable display of inexperience, Jenkins struck a curb within the parking lot while making his getaway, resulting in a flat tire and damage to the vehicle's undercarriage. Police located the compromised vehicle at the parking lot's exit onto Queen Street, with Jenkins in the driver's seat and several passengers on board. Fortunately, though, no injuries were reported in this incident. Jonathan Jenkins now faces a series of charges, including second-degree threatening, first-degree reckless endangerment, second-degree breach of peace, and operating a motor vehicle without a license. He was detained on a $25,000 bond and was scheduled for arraignment in New Britain Superior Court the following day. One of the passengers in Jenkins' car, identified as 18-year-old Clifford Schwartz of Southington, was found in possession of a brass knuckle and a knife combination. But despite the serious charges of carrying a dangerous weapon and illegal possession of a weapon in a motor vehicle, Schwartz was released without bail. His arraignment was then scheduled for the upcoming Monday. Number 4. Fake diplomas. Over nearly a decade, from 2003 to 2012, James Enowich of Cromwell, Connecticut, found himself caught in a fraudulent scheme involving the operation of multiple diploma mills. This elaborate scam came to light in Philadelphia, where Enowich was charged with mail fraud and aiding and abetting mail fraud, accentuating the consequences of his misguided belief that he could evade detection. The scheme was initiated as early as 2003, when Enowich and a co-schemer launched a diploma mill. They advertised and sold diplomas for a fee but required no coursework to earn them. This operation eventually expanded to include at least 7 different websites, each selling fake degrees. Each site was linked to an entity with the same name, owned by Enowich and his partner, and operated as diploma mills with no faculty, academic curriculum, or educational services. They weren't recognized by the United States Department of Education. To bolster their credibility, the pair even invented a fraudulent accrediting body called the National Distance Learning Accreditation Council. Enowich and his associates took the deception further by creating phony transcripts, falsely claiming that buyers had completed coursework they'd never done. They allowed purchasers to fabricate their own transcripts and backdate degrees. They also provided fraudulent verification services to support the fake degrees, in case verification was sought by employers or other parties. These deceitful services were advertised with degree packages ranging from $475 to $550 for associates, bachelor's, master's, and doctoral level degrees, even offering a multi-degree discount for bulk purchases. And for an extra fee, buyers could even select grades for the fictitious courses included in their transcripts. If convicted, Enowich faces a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. He may also be subject to a $250,000 fine, a $100 special assessment, and an order of forfeiture. Unfortunately, though, the outcome of the case is unclear. The elaborate nature of this fraud highlights the importance of maintaining the integrity of academic credentials and the consequences for those who attempt to exploit it. Enowich's belief that he could evade justice ultimately led to his apprehension and legal consequences. Number 3. Don't steal from 7-Eleven. On July 29, 2023, an incident unfolded at a Stockton 7-Eleven store where store clerks were caught on video beating an alleged thief with a stick. The video went viral and garnered national attention. However, the San Joaquin County District Attorney's Office announced that the store clerks wouldn't face any criminal charges, emphasizing their role as victims and the necessity to hold the individual attempting to rob them accountable. The video, viewed millions of times, depicted a man in a blue mask emptying shelves of cigarettes and other products into a trash can, while a witness can be heard telling the employees, "Ain't nothing you can do, man, until police come here." But that wasn't actually the case. As the masked man attempted to leave the store with the stolen items, the employees decided to intervene. One clerk seized the trash can, pinning the man to the ground, while the other used what appeared to be a wooden stick to strike the man nearly 24 times. The incident followed a series of attempted robberies at the same 7-Eleven location on South Center Street. On July 28th, an employee reported a man entering the store, threatening to shoot the employee if stopped, and stealing cigarettes and other items. The next day, the same man reappeared, demanded money while mimicking a gun with his hand, and attempted to steal food items. Then later that morning, the video incident occurred. 42-year-old Tyrone Frazier was subsequently arrested in connection with this series of robberies, burglary, and other outstanding warrants. While some praised the employees for defending their business and property, lawmakers in California, including Senator Dave Cortez, introduced Senate Bill 553 to ban retail staff from intervening when thieves are stealing from their stores. This legislation had passed the state Senate and moved to policy committees in the state assembly. However, this bill could have devastating consequences. If thieves fear no repercussions for stealing like this robber at the 7-Eleven, then crime will go up exponentially. The incident also sparked political discussion, with Senator Ted Cruz commenting on it and criticizing policies related to crime and law enforcement. However, it's important to note that the alleged thief was being investigated for robbery, while the employees weren't under investigation for assault. The San Joaquin County District Attorney's Office clarified that the store clerks weren't considered suspects in the case and wouldn't face any charges. The decision by the District Attorney's Office received support from the community, and it aimed to dispel misinformation and clarify that the employees weren't being held responsible for their actions in protecting the store. This incident highlighted the complexities surrounding retail theft and the legal repercussions for those involved. Number 2. Playing dumb. On April 10, 2022, a chilling incident occurred outside a bar in East Peoria, Illinois, where a 23-year-old university student named Stephanie Melgoza hit and killed 2 people with her car while driving under the influence. Newly released body cam footage reveals her disturbing behavior shortly after the crash, highlighting her attempt to play dumb when confronted with her crimes. The video, published by Law and Crime, shows Melgoza, who was 3 times over the legal blood alcohol limit, smiling, laughing, and pretending to be clueless during her interaction with authorities at the crash scene. During a field sobriety test, she struggled to follow a police officer's instructions and remarked, "I told you, it's hard." She then failed all the field sobriety tests administered by responding officers. Footage from OSF St. Francis Hospital, where Melgoza was taken after the crash, depicts her displaying similar obliviousness to the gravity of the situation. She spent several minutes singing and dancing on the exam table before inquiring about retrieving her car. The responding officer sternly informed her that she was going to jail without bond for killing 2 people and that her car was now a crime scene. Then in May 2023, Melgoza, now 24, was sentenced to 14 years in prison after pleading guilty to 4 felony charges, including 2 counts of aggravated DUI death and 2 counts of aggravated reckless driving. The sentencing hearing was attended by the family members of the victims, Andrea Rosevitz and Paul Proent. Melgoza's defense attorney, Kevin Sullivan, maintained that his client deeply regretted the incident and had been vilified from various angles. He emphasized that she never intended for such a tragic outcome and would carry the remorse for the rest of her life. Melgoza, in her apology to the victims' family members, expressed that she never meant to hurt anybody and acknowledged that she'd live with the consequences for the rest of her life. Reports from East Peoria police indicated that on the fateful day, Melgoza had consumed 3 vodka drinks before driving and hitting the victims. A responding police officer observed slurred speech, watery eyes, and a strong alcohol odor on her breath. The deadly DUI crash occurred just weeks before Melgoza was set to graduate from Bradley University. However, due to the incident, she faced backlash from fellow students, resulting in her removal from the list of students eligible to participate in the graduation ceremony. Despite this, though, the university president permitted her to accept her diploma. Number 1. Hate crime. In late July 2023, a 17-year-old individual found himself facing an indictment on a murder charge in a shocking incident that highlighted his profound ignorance in believing that a hate crime would go unnoticed. The ordeal unfolded in New York, where prosecutors revealed that the stabbing occurred following a confrontation sparked by derogatory taunts aimed at a group of men dancing shirtless to Beyoncé while gassing up their car. Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez asserted that O'Shea Sibley's tragic death was driven by both anti-black and anti-LGBTQ bias. Gonzalez emphasized, in light of the situation at hand, that it was evident that a significant contributing factor to this attack was the fact that individuals took offense to Mr. Sibley and his friends engaging in dancing and celebration. The suspect is now set to appear in court to answer for the charge, and if convicted, he could face a minimum of 20 years in prison. Attempts to reach his attorney, Mark Pollard, for comment were unsuccessful, and the teen's grandmother claimed he was defending himself. But prosecutors have refused to release the suspect's name. The tragic chain of events leading to Sibley's death began when he and his friends were dancing at a Brooklyn gas station, prompting taunts from another group of individuals. Security camera footage depicted both groups engaging in a heated argument before briefly disengaging. Sibley and a friend then later returned to confront one of the individuals who'd remained behind, recording the altercation on his phone. And in the video, 28-year-old Sibley could be seen following the person and then lunging at him, disappearing from the camera's view. Then, moments later, Sibley reappeared on camera, checking his side, before collapsing to the sidewalk. Gonzalez emphasized that the video indicated Sibley's rightful attempt to protect himself and his friends from anti-gay and anti-black slurs. He underscored that Sibley and his friends were unarmed and stated that defending yourself from anti-gay or anti-black comments, or arguing back, isn't a cause for someone to take a weapon and do what was done in this case. Gonzalez also expressed confidence in the charges being substantiated during the trial. O'Shea Sibley was a dancer who performed with the Philadanco Dance Company in Philadelphia and New York. He'd even taken classes with the Alvin Alley American Dance Theater's Alley Extension program. He used dance to celebrate his LGBTQ identity through works like Soft, A Love Letter to Black Queer Men, choreographed by Kamar Jewel. His untimely death drew whispered tributes from politicians and celebrities, including Beyoncé and filmmaker Spike Lee, underscoring the profound impact he had on those who knew him. Would you ever play dumb to get yourself out of a potentially dangerous situation? Or would you own up to your actions and take whatever consequences are coming to you? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.